And welcome back to the IPF World Championships here in Calgary, Canada. Well, we got the big boys, the 120 pluses, six-pack Lapidat, and the reigning world champion in 93 kilo class, Ellis McLean. My man, thank you for being back in the booth with me once again. And this is the squats. Everybody knows Kelly Brand of Canada chasing the 1,000-pound squat. And, of course, Ray, who knows how far he can take it.
I mean, we may see 1,100 today.
There's been whispers of maybe 500 kilo even.
500 kilos. So it's something a lot of people have been waiting to see. Of course, a lot of us, especially we're in Kelly's land right now, so a lot of us want to see him squat that 1,000 pounds. He took a stab at it at the Arnold's, and he actually moved with it. Got called on depth, just slightly above parallel. So we expect to see him go over 1,000 today. I'm really excited to watch that.
305 on the board right now for Julian J.K. Johansson of Iceland.
Makes quick work of that one.
He does. 3 white lights, and Julian is on the board.
So obviously the thing that we're going to be really trying to pay attention to, of course, is if you look at the platform, how everything's been set up right now, we only have 9 lifters as far as these big boys go, and of course we all know they're definitely not built for speed. So obviously we're going to be looking at conditioning or lack thereof of being playing a key role, of course, as the meet keeps going on. But I think the spotters going to be doing a better job in terms of kind of taking the time with the loading, and really, I'm sure they're going to be milking that minute for as long as they can.
Let's hope. Now from Algeria, Ilyas Bougalum with 317.5. And he is a monster bencher. Opening with 250 kilo bench. I foresee a bench battle with Kelly Britton.
Oh, for sure. Maybe seeing that world record chipped.
Looks smooth again.
Nice, smooth opening.
Yeah, it's also interesting. Some of these fellas looking at judges say a little high. Looking at 1,000-pound squats, and with this kind of a turnaround, I'm not sure how big a jumps they're going to want to take. But you had mentioned some of these guys are Arnold Classic veterans, and the turnaround's really big there as well.
Oh,
really
yeah.
fast.
Sometimes when you have that Arnold, I mean, you only have 5, sometimes 10 if you're lucky in your platform. So a lot of times you don't get that time to rest. So the turnaround's very, very quick. I mean, of course, Kelly and Ray, they're Arnold Classic veterans. So it may not play that big of a role with those guys because it's definitely something that they've done before. They've been in that territory before. So we have
Slim Ras with 325 from Estonia. And they are moving fast.
They are moving fast.
If they were counting on the spotters and loaders to be slow, I think.
Hopefully they'll kind of settle in the second attempts.
Yeah. That's good.
Judges say.
Sometimes it's difficult for a big man to get depth. I mean, just around the hips and the torso. Some of these men are extremely large. This is a 143 kilo man. We have upwards of Kelly Brand, 172 kilo, and Ray Williams just shy of 190.
And he's lost weight. That's the best part about it.
Massive men.
You kind of saw that yesterday with the 84 and 84 pluses. There was a lot of those young ladies that they were pretty much bouncing on the bottom. They still just weren't able to their hip crease wasn't able to drop below the knees. So a lot of them were getting called for depth.
325 kilo load on the bar. And it looks good.
Set up, so what the judges say.
Nope.
Look a little high.
Take a look at the slow-mo replay. Yeah, it might be a little high. And there's another, it makes it a little more tough with the super heavyweights. Sometimes you lose the crease of their hip. It becomes more difficult for them to get depth, but also more difficult for you to judge whether they hit it.
It's just a lot of surface area to try to cover, and especially to try to accentuate that hip crease dropping below the knee. So again, he'll be back. I'm sure he'll take that again and probably blow that bad boy up because it moved pretty quickly.
It did move quickly. Steve Ringoot.
Hello, Mrs. Ringavoot, we love you.
325. That was Gino, in
Gino
case
with the
you were
love.
wondering what happened to LS's voice there. And Steve will attempt 325 for an opener.
All the way from Belgium.
And it looks like the Algerian, who missed 317 and a half, will still jump 330 regardless. And the Finn missed 325
But
and
he's
also
gonna
going to
go
move
up
to 330. Kind of risky when you go up. You missed the first one not on strength, but the second one, if you miss it on strength, you didn't buy yourself any insurance with the opener, right? It gets dicey.
One has to think to himself, when coming into a meet like this, knowing that you have Ray and Kelly, not necessarily locking up the 1-2 spot as he just demolishes
Heavy
that
favorites,
opener.
though.
They're heavy favorites that 1 and 2 spots. So do you have to gamble just a little bit to really try to put yourself in a better position to get that third place spot? Or are you just going to kind of play how you normally play?
Or do you retake that opener, make a big jump? I mean, I guess, yeah. Depends on how your risk tolerance is as a lifter.
Very true, very
and how
true.
you react. So Steve gets his opener. And we have Jordan McCullen from Great Britain. 330 loaded on the bar for him.
It's awesome watching Jordan. I followed this guy since he actually started lift. He's one of Screamer's original lifters that he's trained. Shout out to Screamer Manuel out there.
Jordan McLaughlin, sorry.
Just an awesome guy. One of the funnier guys. If you don't follow this guy on social media, this is probably one of the guys that you would like to follow. He's actually super, super funny.
Is that right?
Super funny. And I guess he's kind of strong.
330 for the kind of strong McLaughlin. Yeah, he's all types of strong. That was pretty good
To
depth.
the basement. Good
Yep.
Lord.
No question on his depth. Makes the judging easy. 3 white lights.
Well done, Jordan. Nice 330 opener.
That was very low for a big man.
He had depth and change on that one. He could have definitely shaved off a little bit. I'm sure he's going to get to the back, and coach is probably going to let him know, like, you didn't have to bottom out. But again, sometimes you just want to get into the meat. So if you have to scrape the basement, you need to scrape the basement.
That's right. Scraping the basement. So 342.5 for Mahdi Mafi of Iran. And we are getting into some monster weights.
They climb so quickly.
Very, very quickly. Obviously, the top end, we got Sugar Ray Williams from the U.S. opening with 442.5.
And to be such a big guy, he's really lean.
Yeah, for a
That's a big
super
lean man.
heavyweight.
That's a very big guy.
Very well proportioned Mahdi from Iran. Mahdi Mafi, 342.5 for his opener. Yeah, did a little extra.
Let me tell you something. That is probably the heaviest paw squat I've seen ever.
Hitting a paw squat. So was there down, up?
I think it was a
and
little
that's
bit down up action going on.
He hit depth for sure,
He
but
definitely hit depth. But
you'll see here in the replay,
in the descent, once he gets, it's almost like he was fishing for that depth.
And I mean, fair play. You want to make sure you get depth, but it's got to be all in one swoop.
Yeah.
Can't take a double dip. He looked good for the weight. Probably should retake it though,
Yeah, I would
because a
retake
jump
that
would be
one.
risky considering.
Consider how just the way that played out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. Kelly Brenton from Canada,
Now we have grand goals coming up here.
410.
410 going to open up with 903. Not too bad. That is not too shabby.
He said he is tired of squatting in the 900s and he's ready to put on 1,000 pounds. He's going to have to take some big jumps,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
proportion-wise, 50-pound jump when you already got 900 on your back isn't as big a percentage jump. Got to keep that in mind. These guys are in a whole nother stratosphere.
They really are.
There is maybe Ray, Kelly, and Jezza
Jezza.
who understand what a 50-pound jump would be
Oh,
like.
yeah.
To any other human being alive, that's way
We just
too
laugh
big.
at it. We don't even do that for deadlifts. These,
No.
these guys
No.
are strapping it on their back and just moving it like it's absolutely nothing. So this is going to be fun to watch.
All eyes on the platform now. People are whispering. They know. Kelly's made it very clear on social media. Everything goes well. Everything goes as planned, barring, missing a squat for whatever reason. 1,000 pounds will be on his back by the end. He put 1,000 pounds on his back. It was either Arnold or Nationals. cut it high, but moved very well. He said it was confidence that was the issue, but he was glad he had it on his back to move it as fast as he did.
I believe he did 970 at Nationals, and then he went 1,000 chance, I think 1,003, I believe, at the Arnold.
I think that's the
and
full number.
He got called for depth just slightly above.
It was high for sure, but he even admitted that. He's like, I knew I cut it, but I just wanted 1,000 on my back to see what it felt like. I think the confidence is there this time.
It's definitely there. Just in the back, just in the warm-up room, and it's kind of awesome because you would think, though these guys are competitors, speaking mainly of Ray and Kelly, Ray's actually cheering Kelly on in the back. And likewise, Kelly's cheering Ray on in the back. You know, because they both have goals that they want to accomplish at this meet. And this is the highest level, so of course, if you're going to do it, you want to do it on the biggest stage possible.
And if you ever heard these gentlemen talk about each other, Kelly said, as good of a power lifter Ray is, he's an even better person. Well, that would make him the best person in the world.
Oh, yeah.
That would make him, Mother Teresa.
Pretty much.
Bless his heart. He should be up for the Nobel Peace Prize if that's true. 410 for Kelly Brenton.
410 opener. We are now into the 900s.
And here we go.
It only took us about 8 minutes to drop into the 900s.
And you never seen spotters earn their slice of pizza.
I'm telling you. They had a little bit of work earlier today. They're definitely going to get the work in right now.
Just a warm-up compared to what these fellas are about to do. Frightening amount of weight on that platform right now.
Good setup.
Move fast.
That looks like a man that's on a mission to hit 1,000 pounds. What do you think?
Depth. Depth was going to be possibly an issue. He just got to stick his knees out. Does he go up?
Now, that's my question to you. Do you think he goes up or does he stay?
Oh, man, I wanted to get that question up before you got it, though. Yeah, you know what? It's close.
It's spot
you know
on,
what?
Really. I personally, I may not do the jump that I would have done had I hit it, but I would go up.
How much do you think? I mean, for these guys, 10 kilo is breakfast.
I would say 20, 15 to 20.
It's just such a dicey proposition. And as long as Kelly doesn't bomb out, he's a really solid favorite for silver.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but if you don't want to jump from 900 pounds to 1,000 either.
No.
Gosh. Oh my gosh. That is a hard one, sir.
I don't know.
This was not the script.
I know Abby's in the back right now.
This is a tough conversation that the Canadian coaching staff and Kelly are having. Sometimes do you say, hey, look, at maybe 1,000 pounds isn't on the table today.
We're retaking it. He's going to retake.
They're retaking 410. If he jumps from 410 to I think it's 450 is 1,000 pounds.
Yeah.
That's an incredible
jump.
Oh, the drama. We'll have to see what they decide.
We'll see.
Ray Williams, 442.5, 975 pounds. And this used to be a third attempt, and it was a big deal.
So much man, so much red standing on the stage right now, ladies and gentlemen.
My gosh.
So many red plates.
The classic Ray Williams setup. I still get goosebumps in this. 3 years in a row I've watched this man do his thing. It never gets old.
It's one of those things you have to see live. At least one time in your lifetime if you consider yourself a powerlifting fan.
It's worth the flight. Oh.
Unlocks, nice descent. His step stands up.
Oh. That moved well.
That moved very well.
That moved very, very well. Oh,
okay, so that's what we're doing.
And he looks almost insulted. He looks almost insulted.
Well, if you saw his face, you should have saw his Coach Matt Gary's face.
Yeah.
I think he looked just as insulted as Ray did. Now, again, the question I'm going to ask you, man to man, do we go up here or do we stay?
Sir, we have 5 misses and only 4 hits. And my gosh, these men are human after all. And anything can happen. And the foregone conclusion, no, sir, not in sports. A huge shakeup could be in the mix.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I don't even know how to call this. I'm speechless. I really am speechless.
While I would love to say that I have the words, I mean, of course,
I think he retakes it because he's the champ.
he's the champ.
And
you,
don't risk your title. He doesn't have a nice, sexy round number he's chasing like Kelly is.
Yeah.
And I think defend.
and he does.
And he is okay.
Retaking
4.4, 2.5 for race second.
And it's almost a given. If you're coached by Matt Gary, you just assume out the gate you're going to retake it if you don't hit it.
He's not. Yeah, he doesn't take
man.
risk. He says win first. And I got to agree with him.
Now, speaking of depth, there's no question that he hit depth.
Yeah, this man.
He takes it to the bottom.
For the big man, it's tough to get depth. And
Good Lord.
he took it right to the basement. Johannesson of Iceland, clearly depth is not a problem for
Now,
him.
in this particular case, I mean, obviously with the bigger guys, I mean, it's a lot harder really in terms of mobility to really just hit depth anytime you want. But in this particular case, if you've seen how the judges has been, especially, with the bigger people and just how depth is, it's been hard to find.
Yeah.
Do you lighten the load a little bit so that you make sure that you bury it a little bit more to find depth? Or do you
this
just
is
keep
why,
going?
obviously, they can't lighten now, but this is why retake that opener.
Yes.
Don't go up because you might have to go all types of lower than you're used to.
True story.
Bougalem from Algeria, Ilias taking 330 despite missing 317.5. He opted to go heavier. Let's hope it wasn't, it's not a miscalculation because he's in reach of a bench world record. If you
definitely
don't get a
is.
total,
You can't get a record.
can't get a record. And this is a whole lot more exciting than we'd even thought already just off openers. Depth is there this time, I believe.
That definitely looked like it was there.
He adjusted.
What do the judges say, though? That's the question.
3 whites.
All right, 3 whites. That's good.
Okay, so the juice is worth the squeeze. The hay is in the barn. The hard work is done. However you want to say it, he's on the board. Now Ray and Kelly have to follow suit. Oh, I feel like my hands are sweaty. Like I'm.
Oh, yeah, my palms are sweating walking into the building, man, because there's so much at stake.
Yeah, there's just so much weight up there.
And at the same time, you kind of can tell, like, the spotters and loaders, they kind of slowed down the pace a little bit in terms of the loading a little bit to give these big boys a chance to kind of breathe.
Yeah.
Because regardless of the way you want to look at it, that's a lot of man that's trying to move.
Look, they don't want you to miss either.
No, not at all. If
You
miss,
see some
they
sweaty
miss.
T-shirts up there, sir.
Exactly.
330. The fin also going up. Serio decided miss 325, but 5 kilos on top.
Who knows?
And-
The extra weight might give you the extra depth.
Yeah, not entirely out of reason. You know what? I'm not sure. Wow, so this is where, there you go. You saw 2 stories there. Miss an opener, increase weight. One guy hits, miss an opener, increase weight. One guy misses, and now you start seeing the game.
And to be honest, he actually cut that one a little short.
He cut it maybe
anyway.
even higher.
Yeah.
And it is a packed house right now.
So now you risk the chance of not even being in the meet. So now we're just dealing with the case of there's no coming back from this. I have to nail this. Is that extra pressure? I don't know.
Depth before dishonor now.
Yeah, for sure.
335 for
Estonian.
Slim Rast of Estonia. And the fellas are tightening those weights like they're closing a vault.
It's fun watching this guy squat. I'll actually watch him in the back warming up.
You got some world-class
Big-
spotters, too.
Yeah, real big, compact guy.
Jackson Spencer won the World Championships earlier in June. Very strong lad. Luigi, here all week. You got some really good spotters out there, and they're going to need them. They brought in the 18,
Oh, yeah.
the Estonian. 10-kilo jump, pretty conservative for a super heavy. And the depth looks good.
But he's playing a smart game in terms of podium-wise. He puts himself a little bit closer, getting close to that podium.
And that's it.
When people miss and you make, it gets you a little bit closer to that promised land.
We've
So,
seen that so many times in
tell
this
you,
world.
That's the name of the game.
Eric Willis came in the 4th nominated in the 120s, ended up winning the World Championships in last session, becoming the first Canadian ever to win the Open. And he came in 4th, played a tight game, and got his opportunity when it opened.
Yeah. Take your opportunities where you can find them, kids.
This
I'm
is
telling
it.
you that.
Build your total. So Steve from Belgium, he's looking to build his total. 15-kilo jump,
Kilo jump.
340. Steve is a large man.
That's
You
a
ever
lot
see
of
him in the
UV.
back? Wowzers.
Yeah.
He's like a foot taller than me. And despite how fierce he looks before he squats, as approachable as you're going to find a giant. That's a good thing. You want your giants to be friendly. Lots of power in that, man. Hits depth.
Man, that's depth for real.
Nicely done.
The part that always impresses me with these bigger fellas is how quickly they can descend. Because right around now, you see a lot. I mean, around about 60 to 70%. You see most of them. They really control that descent, down to the bottom, and and explode up to the top. So when you see a bigger fellow, like we just saw, being able to drop it so quickly and stand right back up and control it.
It lets you realize just how huge these men are, the amount of weight they have on their back to move that quickly and not get thrown around.
Yeah, and the ability to withstand the oscillation. Because at the end of the day, if your body can withstand just the additional forces that's placed on it, you're already a big human being, and you have weight 2 and 3 times your body weight on top of you. That Lego bar is
it's a lot of momentum, isn't it, sir?
Drop it on your back, and they're able to stand up with it. They're impressive athletes.
345 from McLaughlin from Great Britain. McLaughlin had hit 330, taking a 15-kilo jump. And Jordan adding some kilos to total depth. Nope. And that's the first catch.
Now we're starting to see, while we only have 9 competitors, we're starting to see people making adjustments with that depth. And that's what happens. You start getting in the back of your head as a lifter, like, you know what, man, they're calling everybody on depth. Guys that I'm used to seeing hit this.
They go back and they talk, don't they?
Oh, yeah. You go back, you talk, you complain. And even though you don't necessarily listen, you still hear it. So it's in the back of your head.
Coaches pick it up.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, you talk about depth. You talk about how long the pauses are.
Yeah,
everybody talks back there. And a good lifter will adjust because you have to. Now, Matty Maffey of Iran, 347.5 on the bar. Missed his opener, opted to up 5 kilo, a huge bencher, world record in bench, and he's looking to break it. But first, we've got to get through the squats with at least 1 registered. He's a well-proportioned man. I think it might be easier for him to depth because he's so tall. And it's deeper.
It's a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be close in terms of what they're gonna call it, though, just from my vantage point.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have to take a look at that.
Either spot on or just slightly above. That's what I'm saying.
He's getting close. Let me take a look at this replay here. Oh, yeah.
See, I don't know, man.
That's tough. That's tough.
No.
He's in a tough jam now. He went deeper for sure. I guess maybe a stitch deeper than that he goes. He doesn't want to go too much deeper, though. You're not coming back up.
You're going to risk the chance because once you get past that point of bottoming out,
yeah,
you're done. So
Kelly Branton, we got a couple individuals here who now have missed twice in a row. Kelly hoping he's not going to join that trend. And the Canadian in Canada, most of the crowd's going to be behind him. 410 on the bar. He has to find that depth.
He really has to find the depth on this one.
And this is all types of excitement and drama, sometimes for the wrong reasons, but this is sports.
I tell you.
This is sports. You don't get them for free.
It's the 2 people that the most people came to watch. They got their popcorn ready for. So far, they're blank. So we're hoping that Kelly breaks that trend right now. Give us a nice 904 squat here.
Kelly can take 903 fairly easily. If he's got to drop it low, he's going to drop it low. I'm glad he opened with a weight that he can double, triple pause if he had to. Very strong, man. That's deeper. And he gets it.
Oh, man.
That is deeper. You got the squat. You got the rack command, no? Did you get the rack command? I couldn't hear.
I think you got the rack command.
And he gets it. Kelly Branton got his foot in the door. Man. And here we go.
So hopefully, we'll see what he... Coaching-wise, obviously, I wouldn't give him the call to go up to 1,000.
No.
I would probably chip him a little bit. It looked like it'd take a little bit out of him.
That was work.
That was a lot of work.
That was mad work.
He dropped it as low as he possibly could.
Yeah, I don't think he liked how quickly the fellas re-racked him there. He's got easy. Let me get my footing, because if I lose my footing, you fellas got 1,000.
It's a wrap for everybody.
Yeah, it's a wrap for everybody. This is going to be a collaborative re-rack. Please do not rush Ray in there. Now Ray Williams has got to follow Kelly's suit and hit 442.5 to depth. Nobody's getting for free out there.
No.
As it should be. You hold the standard.
So Ray's going to try to Go ahead and hit this 975.5 pounds.
Such a massive,
it's such
massive
a massive
squad.
number.
And this, again, like Kelly, I said, 410 is weight that he could take the depth, I'm sure. This is weight that Ray could take the depth any day.
Oh,
he just
over.
got to drop it nice and low for them. And he's fired up now. He was insulted the first time. Now it's personal. First time was business. Now it's personal,
This
sir.
is completely personal.
Kelly Brenton with the chest bump. If you want to fight, you got it. Going to send a
At this point,
powerful
you take
message.
it personal because if you feel as a lifter you've hit depth and you've hit that weight, now they're making you take it again.
This is
It's
a man.
personal. It's absolutely personal.
This is a man who feels slighted and is about to right a wrong. And he moves that with authority. What do they say? And he
so
gets
going
it.
2-1.
Sugar Ray is on the board.
It's my thing. I'm trying to see what the judges see. I really am.
No slow-mo for this
you
one.
get the slow-mo for that one.
Remember, the judges don't have the benefit of a slow-mo, but
No.
we don't either for that one. And it is what it is. So now we have Jari Sario of Finland with 330 on the bar, really backed himself into a corner. If he misses this, he's bombing out and not eligible for a total. He can move forward in the bench, but no national team points for Finland, which is very costly. The Iranian in the same situation, and Mafi possibly going to get
He keeps going up, and you got to think to yourself, like, what's in your head right now? 325 was a no-go. 330 barely stood up, but you have to retake it.
I mean, I've seen guys on strength conceivably and women on strength conceivably miss twice, come back, hit it, and a miracle happens. You got to pray for a miracle.
There we go. And you hate to see a lifter put in this situation.
High drama. If you like drama, you like excitement, you like action, well, you're getting it all right now with the 120 pluses. Oh,
It's Will.
Will's it up. Is it enough?
Is it enough? Or the judge's going to give it to him?
Nope.
Nothing. Gotta be.
It's a little uneven
guy.
sometimes. At least one hip's going to float a little higher than the other, and it's hard to sink the hips. Yeah, that looked high on this replay, actually, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But he showed a lot of heart. So Joe Hansen, I feel like I'm out of breath. There's so much.
I'm telling you.
Like the heart
9
beats.
guys got heart beating out of my chest right now.
I could only. Some of these spotters' shirts are already soaked, and I do not blame them. Gonna towel themselves off. 335 for Johansson. Julian J.K. Johansson of Iceland. Iceland, a history of strength.
So making a few adjustments to the Lico rack there.
I can only imagine what that rack is going through
The
right now.
force is being placed on that thing.
You can light up a
astronomical.
city with this kind of force
I'm
output.
telling you. This is actually good for the lifters because it's going to give them a slight break, but it looks like they're just adjusting that rack a little bit. I think that thing's already had 4 or 5 metric tons of weight.
Can you imagine the force generated by these men slamming into that with their body weight, the weight on their back, over and over? Oh, and some of these poor spotters are soaking in sweat.
So yeah, they are. They're driving it back a little bit because at this point, just between the weight and the rack, that floor is going to shift. Not only is it going to shift, but it's going to sink. So I've already been on that floor, and just after 4 or 5 sessions, it starts sagging at the bottom. So obviously, with the judges and the refs, their main concern, as with everyone, is going to be the lifter's safety. So you got to put the lifters in the best position possible to be as safe as possible. So that's what we're doing right now, folks. We're actually trying to move this rack to get in the most safe, stable condition, safe and stable spot on the floor. And right now, that's going to be mainly toward the middle.
The only one under more pressure than these spotters is that rack.
This is true.
You don't want to be either, to tell you the
I'm telling
truth.
you, at this point.
Tough job by all of them. Alico, if they hadn't built such bang-up equipment, I mean, there's your testimony right there, sir.
Thank you, Alico.
Battle tested.
Battle tested, athlete approved.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Believe me, you buy this equipment for your home gym, you're not going to put the beating on that these fellas
No,
are.
not at
unless
all.
you're inviting the 120 plus world championship to your basement. You're safe. And good shout out time for Alico SPD and our new sponsor, Uplift. Without your generosity, this high quality stream would not be possible, and it's easily the best stream in the business. Never seen powerlifting meets so well put together. It's like you're watching television.
Oh, yeah.
We even got world champions in here for
I can
co-hosting.
do a cameo every now and again.
Every now and again. So 335 for Julian J.K. Johansson from Iceland. 10-kilo jump. He took a 20-kilo jump from his opener.
Yeah, so he's looked pretty solid. So, again, a lot of these guys are not really in contention for much of a podium spot, but everyone's always in contention to beat themselves. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You want to be a better version and try to get that PB. So
every ranking you move up as well is still team points.
Exactly.
Very valuable for the bigger picture. It's not just an individual sport. It's at the world level. You have national teams going head to head.
exactly.
In Iceland. 30 seconds left. I believe. Did they say bars loaded, or are they running down the clock? I didn't hear bars loaded. Did
I
you?
haven't heard bars loaded.
So maybe we're just waiting. We put a little extra time. I guess we'll find out. Oh, we did say bars loaded. Gino confirms. So we did say bars loaded.
Yeah, Gino said his
Okay.
bars loaded. So, you know what?
And the drama continues, starting into
All
a mystery
right.
at points.
So he's going to take time on this one, I guess.
You know what? If you don't think you got it in you and you want to save it and you think 325 was the limit, fair play. It's a long day and a very quick turnover.
And at the same time, if you're just trying to be a good fellow, you got to go ahead and let
Do
that
not
full,
scratch.
Don't
Do not
scratch.
scratch
You just
for
let
these
that
fellas.
full minute run out.
Go back and tell Ray, I scratched it. You got to go a minute sooner.
Like it's,
He's already in a grumpy mood.
Exactly. So that's actually one of the coolest things about powerlifting. You know, when you, if and when you decide that you don't want to take that weight, you can let that minute run out to give your fellow competitors a chance to kind of get a breather.
Ras from Estonia, 340.
It's a nice 5-kilo jump.
Yeah, somewhat conservative for super heavies, but 5 kilo is still 5 kilo. You pick it up here, you throw it on your total. Depth.
Oh, that was depth.
Good
Real.
catch. Very good catch by the spotters.
I can honestly say, man to man, I've never seen a big guy go that low. Like,
You know
he's
what?
literally,
Rastas, look at these individuals are large, strong, mobile, and athletic.
he is bouncing off the calves, man. I mean,
Yup. He's getting some spring there.
telling you.
And obviously, we got to keep throwing kudos to these spotters. They got a tough job today.
I'm telling you, if you ever see these spotters right now, I mean, there are sweaty shirts, sweaty foreheads. These guys are putting in work.
Yeah, putting in work for sure. Ilyas Bugalim from Algeria, massive bencher, 342.5, loaded on the bar for its final squat. Misses opener, up the second, regardless, hit it. High risk, high reward, and now upped it again, another 12.5 kilo.
Maybe he got himself back on track. Possibly maybe been going maybe for 350, something of that nature.
Yeah, I think this was somewhere around where he wanted to end because he never stuttered even after missing his opener. Confident young man. And he hits
Good
depth.
depth.
Wow.
That's
You know,
a good one. Good job.
after
buddy.
missing depth on his first one, depth not in question for
no,
these
not in
last
question.
two.
And sometimes
Well
you have to. Sometimes you have to go to the back, kind of regroup, get your
Yeah.
mind right, and then come back ready to roll. And that's exactly what he did. Because at the same time, this guy's a super bencher, man, and he had the world record for a little bit.
And he might take another
He
run.
might take
so
another run at it. So
and
you
he
want
left the door open anyways.
Yeah, you want to give yourself the best chance possible to be as competitive as possible. So being able to stay in the meet, maybe even to get a podium spot, and having a shot at that world record bench again,
Yep.
that's what it's all about.
Steve Ringout of Belgium, 347.5. Steve took a 15-kilo jump from his first to his second, cut that jump in half for his third, and looking to go 3 for 3. A lot of these guys looking to
Possibly
stay consistent.
Would he be the only guy to go 3 for 3?
Yes, he
Yeah.
would. And consistency pays off,
I'm
sir.
telling
Build
you.
the total. Might end up on the podium.
Wonderful
Depth.
Depth.
Oh,
depth,
wow.
depth.
And the only man to go 3 for 3, we assume. Let's see what the judges say.
Assuming the judges 2 to 1.
They give it to him, and he is beyond happy.
That is awesome, man. You see these big boys, big, loud, intimidating,
Yeah.
and then they melt once they get the
I
once they
know.
get the call.
Oh, I know. They
telling you.
smiles.
The smiles, the emotion starts coming out.
Yep. Now, McLaughlin from Great Britain missed 245, jumping up just 2.5 kilo to 347.5. Looking to rebound here. Hit 330 as an opener, so he's got some insurance paid off, and he will move forward regardless.
So, and this would put him in bronze medal squad position, actually. No. Yes.
For the bronze, and that would be why the 2.5 kilo jump. If you're thinking kind of a weird number jump up, well, not really.
Get on that
He can
podium.
walk away exactly. Depth is there. Oh, he's strong too. Big fight, well worth it. See the British crowd just a little bit disappointed, but he bought himself insurance, and he'll be in that bench press event. All is not lost yet. Speaking of all not lost yet, the Iranian Mahdi Mafi, 350. Now he missed 342.5, jumped it up another 5 kilo, missed 347.5, and jumping up 2.5 kilos.
So
this is an all or nothing affair.
Pretty much. And he might, again, a lot of times as a lifter, you know stuff that a lot of people don't know. A lot of times you got to know yourself as a lifter more than the people that are watching. So,
Yeah, I mean, and you hit the nail right on the head. He's probably hit this several times before.
I mean, and you come this far, so it's either feast or famine. Either you can go out guns a-blazing.
And he can go from 0 to a bronze medalist with one successful squat.
One squat.
And the crowd discussing his chances here.
Some are saying, why does he do it? Some are like, you know what? Roll with it. Here we go.
That's it.
This is for all the dice.
High risk, high reward.
All he has to do is hit depth. He's plenty strong.
Much better, much better. Oh my gosh.
Oh, man.
So close. And what's he saying? Is he disagreeing with the grab? Is he disagreeing with the grab? Was it an early grab? I got to see. I can't.
I don't think it was early grab. I just don't think he wanted to be grabbed at all at this point.
It looked like he hit depth. Depth was there this time. Paused it even. That's a strong man. Well, so is he saying, please, I was fighting. They're talking to the jury.
To me, it looked like he's like, no, but then once they grab it, he's no, I wanted to keep going. So,
I don't know what but
yeah,
like,
I don't.
obviously, he's from Iran. He might have said no, but he might have said something that looked like mouthing no, but I literally couldn't audibly hear him.
So they're going to give him another attempt, or I mean, what are we talking about? I don't think that's
still being worked out. Still being worked out. If it's an early grab, I don't know if they need at least one white. You need one white to protest.
Yeah.
But if it's an early grab and the jury says it's an early grab,
I mean, they can replay it. I mean, we got plenty of time.
I think he's going to redo it, and the drama.
So he's going to get another shot at it.
This is high drama, excitement. I cannot call this, sir.
Listen.
He cannot pause it in the hole this time. He paused it and he showed depth, but
he's going to have to be a lot more fluid with this movement.
You don't need to pause it.
No.
That burns energy, and it was depth.
And he's going to have to watch those elbows because those elbows are banging onto the knees. So he's going to have to watch that a little bit. Now we have Kelly coming up here.
427.5, and the Canadian crowd is behind him.
It was 17.5 jump. Nothing too crazy.
Kelly Brenton.
It's weight he's done before numerous times, but it's still weight you have to respect regardless of how many times you've done the weight.
And that's the situation. These boys are moving such big weight, you have to respect it each and every time you step onto the platform.
Core firing off. Kelly standing up from the bottom.
And he fires well, and it looks good.
Yeah, it looked good.
Yep. Let's see what the judges say. No.
Wow. Let's go to the replay and see what we see on this point here.
Yeah, two of them said depth, and one said possibly a down up. Or let's see here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the current world record is 477
Oh, yeah, that was a little high.
Yeah, it was close.
Just a little
It's so hard to see because there's such a big man. You lose the hip.
He's such a big guy. They're such big guys, so it's hard.
And this is a world record attempt by Ray Williams. 478 kilo.
78 kilos.
Huge jump. But if anybody can do it.
If anybody can do it, it's going to be Ray Williams.
Huge jump.
1,500.
Will we see history?
1,053.8. So just a shade under 1,054 pounds.
Wow.
478 kilos.
Just ridiculous. Look at these fellas trying to move the bar, and it takes 6 of them to do it. The strength of 6 men.
For one man.
Ray Williams. He literally is a walking comic book character.
This is crazy. This is what the people came to see.
I mean, if the Avengers need someone else to fight Thanos,
there it is.
Catch him.
If anybody could handle Thanos' glove, there it is. This is the man right here. Watch that Alico bar.
478, the Alico bar under heavy pressure.
Bending and bowing.
Wowzers, Ray. Here he comes.
Ray's ready to
Here
roll.
he comes. Ray Williams.
With the setup. Done a really good job with his setup now. Really lets the weight settle.
Look at the smile on his face.
Breaks at the hips, hits depth, stands up.
Whoa! And that might be it.
And
that might be it.
That looks like a 3. And we go 2-1. I'm sure we're gonna go to the jury with this one.
Yeah, Matt Gary is going to the jury with this one.
We'll look.
Matt telling Ray, go back there, young man. I'll do the debating for you. You need not stress. And the jury's consulting. We got another replay here. Let's see. Yeah, it's so hard. You can't even see his quads are so huge. From this angle, I got to be on the platform, and from the side, you lose his hip over his quad. Such a huge man. My God, that's a close call. That's a tough call.
So obviously,
what do they say? Is it sticking?
I think it's going to stick.
Yeah. Well, they already overturned one, and
so
that I don't blame the judges at all. That it's so hard when these men are so huge.
Just physically,
it's all borderline. It's all borderline. It's all 50-50.
Is it even physically possible to go any lower for a lot of these guys? And while I mean we go the standard, of course, the hip crease, of course, dropping below the knee.
But you can't even see the hip crease at times. These guys are so
you can't
huge.
see it,
It's tough. So, and we're not on the platform, it should be said. So the Iranian is going to retake 350. He basically pause squatted this.
He's done 2 pause squats so far.
If he doesn't pause it, I think it can happen.
Good to go, yeah.
Matty Mafi.
Taking a 4th attempt.
And that's tough.
That's really, really tough. So
4 squats was not in the game plan.
So emotionally, you just have to be dialed in. And so I'm hoping, if anything, this gives him a bit of an emotional charge to really just want to stay in the meet because, again, like we talked about before, this guy, he's a pretty good bench presser. So, you want to be able to stay in the meet. He's got pretty solid numbers, and it'd be awesome to see him be able to stay in the meet.
Well, if you look at his projected, and the door is open for that bronze is anybody's battle.
Anybody's right now.
He can either bomb out or possibly be in a scrap for a bronze medal at the World Championships. And this is also a bronze medal for the squat. A lot at stake, but he cannot pause in the hole, hit depth, fluid, and come out fighting. He's been given a little time to recruit, and that works in his favor.
Oh, yeah.
1 minute to go, and you got to think he's getting the pep talk of his life back there.
And him being one of our lighter competitors, I believe he's like the 2nd or 3rd lightest competitor we have.
Yep, yeah, he is.
One of the tallest and actually one of the lightest.
He's one of the lightest, but he's a monster.
He really
Believe it. You see him in real life. These
he's
gentlemen,
not a small fella.
Listen, whatever, if you're watching us on a big screen, it doesn't do it justice.
Definitely doesn't.
These guys are giants among men. And here he comes.
Now, and it's awesome because obviously we're with a powerlifting crowd, so they know what's at stake right now. Everyone knows the numbers. They know the down and distance, so to speak. So they know that this is do or die for him.
Do or die, kill or be killed, 350, and the crowd is behind him. Nobody wants to see somebody bomb.
No, not like this.
And he looks strong.
He looks strong, looks confident, and he goes for it.
Depth is
Stands
there.
up with it.
Oh, he's up faster.
Oh, that's what's
much better. Much better.
Listen, I want to be here, he
Did
says.
not pause
The
this
judges
time.
say, That's
And he
it.
does it. He does it.
Now
Three white lights.
Listen, this is
Whoa.
what it may not even be
drama.
Listen, it doesn't have to be the heaviest weight, but as long as the weight gets moved and the
So
crowd's
much easier.
responding, it's
That
a lot
was
easier.
so much easier, too.
I feel like we should coach him. right now.
Wowzers. I mean, it moved so much smoother.
It just had to go
Talk
fluid.
about dramatic.
No pauses at the bottom, you end up getting a very solid squat.
Okay, and that went literally from bombing out to a bronze medal in squat and setting himself up possibly for
a
bronze
podium.
medal down the road. He's in the hunt. How dramatic was that, sir?
I mean, I think it's been the theme of these championships thus far. If it's not dramatic, it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
So,
apparently.
I mean, and obviously the big boys, the 120 pluses, they are absolutely no exception to that rule. I mean, obviously we saw Ray just take a stab at the world record, his world record. Didn't actually pan out the way we all wanted it to. We saw Kelly, who had dreams of course, hitting that 1,000 pounds finally officially.
Yeah.
Same thing didn't actually happen the way he wanted to, but then we've been able to see, we've been able to see some good stuff happen. Of course, moving on the bench, hopefully it works a little bit better in a lot of people's favor.
Looking at the scorecard, usually a sea of green, a few different reds, and this, I can't add it up real quick, but it looks 50-50, and we
Really?
and that means far more drama than planned. Going into the bench press, we're going to take a 20-minute break. Believe me, you don't want to go anywhere. Kelly Brayton is going to go toe-to-toe with Boogaloo for this world record, for the gold medal,
Yes, sir.
and the drama continues. See you in 20. And welcome back to the IPF World Championships here in Calgary, Canada, where the 120 pluses are going to pick up in the bench press. Six-pack Lapidat, Gary Williams. And Gary, that was a little bit of a wild shootout in the squat event.
It's certainly been all over the shop. Ray Williams struggling to get the depth there. And, we know it's hard for the bigger guys to get depth, but the referee's doing a good job keeping them honest, which is nice to see. Kelly Brandon, the Canadian favourite. I mean, let's be honest. Every Canadian wants to see him get up over the top of Ray Williams for a change. Ray Williams has that legend about him, hasn't been defeated. But you know what? This could be Kelly's year. We've still got the bench to go. He's got a big bench. We know
Massive
that.
bench.
He's got a big deadlift as well.
Yeah.
All he has to do is make up a few extra kilos, a few more kilos than Ray, and he can swing past.
Speaking off air, you had said when it gets wild, when it gets untidy, and the unexpected's happening, that's probably the best chance for a contender to unseat a longtime champion.
Yeah.
You need some uncertainty.
This is a good opportunity for Kelly to come through. I mean, at the moment, Ray's still probably playing on his mind, that world record, missed it, hit the weight really well, didn't get depth. That's going to play on his mind a little bit through the bench. Kelly's got a chance here just to play cool, keep rolling through, put the numbers on, and at the end of the day, see what happens.
I think Ray Williams was far more upset and rattled by not getting those than Kelly. Kelly kind of took it in stride.
Yeah, so now's an opportunity for him to maybe swing it behind and have a bit of a strike. So, you could see turn around.
We'll see what happens. Finland's Jari Serio, 150 loaded on the bar for him, going over its liftoff. We'd said it a million times before, Gary. This is sports. It's unpredictable. A couple calls go your way, a couple don't, and there could be a major shakeup. 150 moving very nicely for the Finn.
That was a very easy-looking lift, wasn't it?
Now, I don't know if he's going to come back out. He had bombed out in squats, and none of these kilos are going to go towards his total. Might just take a token bench and then save his energy for the deadlifts because he's got a big one.
He has an absolute monster deadlift.
Someone had told me earlier, actually, it was Tom Keene, if ever there's a Finn in the flight, look to his deadlift opener. You're almost guaranteed it's going to be close to the top of the pack.
Yeah, they've got a long tradition of deadlifts.
Julian J.K. Johansson of Iceland, 195. Speaking of a long tradition of strength from the Icelanders. Looking to hit this and add towards his total. And also, not to get lost in the shuffle, looks like we're going to have a great battle for this bronze medal.
Yeah, the predicted totals suggest there might be a bit of a fight out there. Look, I'd still be keeping my eye on Kelly Branton. I wouldn't count him out just yet.
Nope.
Ray Williams, don't get me wrong, Ray Williams is a fantastic lifter, but, he can be a little bit unpredictable. And he can be hit and miss sometimes. So, Kelly Branton coming through, he's if he can remain consistent, particularly in the bench.
Oh, wow. And that was not...
caught him off guard a little bit there.
And this has been quite the wild shootout. Indeed, a miss.
Look, and I think that's one of the things when you look in the heavy weights, these guys are pushing huge weights multiple times throughout the year. Some of these guys competed in the Arnolds earlier this year as well. Yeah. Some of them done qualifying championships as well. So it's a little unpredictable. And we just saw 195, which would usually be a relatively easy lift for Johansson. All of a sudden, it's a hard lift.
It's also got to be said, and this is Jordan McLaughlin of Great Britain with 205, this is a very short flight with a big turnaround, and the Finn not taking a second and third attempts, the turnaround's going to be even quicker.
Wow, so that's, and that sort of puts the pressure on the other guys a bit, particularly, your bigger weigh-ins.
Yeah, it's a lot of heavyweight being moved and not a lot of time to recover in between attempts.
Yeah, so the most affected by that's going to be Williams, Brendan Rust. I mean, Williams weighted at 189.2, Rust 183.05. And that's, this quick turnaround is really going to affect them more than the lighter guys. Brandon's, got about 10 or 12 kilos less than these guys, so it's probably going to play in his favour a little bit.
And Mahdi Mafi of Iran, very high drama to get that squat. Missed 3, got an overturn, came out for a 4th, and went from 0 to bronze just like that.
Yeah, look, that 4th lift was absolutely amazing.
Yeah. No, this is talk about special moments in sports and how dramatic it could be. He doesn't want any drama for the bench opener. He probably has a number he could probably hit for a 5. while resting it on pause on his chest for a 3 count. 210 kilos.
Well, let's see how he rolls.
And we watch with bated breath. He could use an easy one.
And he's getting a rack call. I'm wondering if it's the feet. Yeah, his feet aren't flat on the floor. So he only has 20 seconds left to set up. And this is why we say how important it is to have an opener that you can hit even on a bad day.
He gets the bench command. Oh my gosh.
There'll be a little bit more work through the midsection than what he would have liked.
You know what?
He
Still
did have a very rough setup.
a million times better than his opener squat.
Yeah, absolutely.
And drama seems to be circling him. Hopefully he can right the ship. He's already got a bronze medal, so despite the chaos, he's walking away with hardware. And Steven Ringout of Belgium, 220 kilos for his opener. Steven actually went 3 for 3, the only lifter to go 3 for 3 in a pretty dramatic squat session.
Yeah, I think 3 for 3 in the heavyweights is a pretty good effort on squats.
Apparently. Today at least.
You know, and as controversial as it can be, it's great that we've got referees up there that are keeping all these guys honest.
Yeah, they'll stand their ground.
Yeah, I mean, if you're high, you're high. These guys have got lots of experience up there.
Yeah, they will judge you regardless if you're a multiple-time champion or several down in the rankings. You're getting the same calls. It's consistency. That's the most you can ask for. Steve with 220. And he looks good.
Well, that was fast.
You know what? In terms of attempt selection, Steve seems to be bang on. I would not be surprised if he goes 3 for 3 in the bench as well and builds himself a nice total.
Yeah, well, he's in a position now where he can start the challenge for that bronze medal as well. And that's going to be his key, is being consistent all the way through.
Yeah, that bronze medal is definitely going to be up for grabs.
Yeah, he doesn't want to start chasing it until he gets to the deadlift.
Yeah.
Right now, just looking at adding a few kilos here, a few kilos there. Yeah, don't get carried away and think, oh, I'll chase it down in the bench press and make up a few kilos. Just stick to your plan.
You know, we've seen that with the Eric Willis win at 120, constantly behind the pack, but staying tight enough, going
That's
6
right.
for 6.
And just being
That
consistent.
made his move. And here's Ray Williams, 222.5. This should be a relatively smooth and easy opener for him. And if he hits it, gets a nice win in his favor, things are looking back to being on track. Very controlled. Wow.
Good opening lift.
Pay close attention as he smiles.
Much better than his squats.
Well, at least he's neutral and not upset anymore. And 230 being loaded on the bar for Simrast of Estonia.
And so he's currently, I mean, again, if he can remain consistent, he's in that bronze medal position on predicted totals. Really just needs to remain consistent throughout, get the numbers on the board, and then see if he can put enough on there in the deadlift to make sure that he can't be pegged down.
Yeah,
for a
after
wing
he,
route.
after he hits this, he's already at a 900 kilo total.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ringout from Belgium is going to certainly try and challenge him.
Yep. They'd be 2.5 kilo apart, and that is incredibly close for men with totals this size. Very small percentage separating them. And Rast hits his opener pretty smooth.
Yeah, so we've only had one athlete so far struggling with the opening lift.
Kelly Breton, 255 on the bar. Kelly had won the world championships in the bench press only, 2017.
It's a big, big opening lift on bench press.
Yeah, Kelly is the only Canadian to have hit over 600 pounds in bench.
Yeah, so he hit 265 twice this year at the Arnold's and the Nationals.
Bench has been a fairly consistent weapon for Kelly. He's also the first Canadian to total over 1,000 kilo. The pride of Canada struts onto the bench event. Putting a lot of tension on that bar with the grip. Nice.
Yeah, look, he handles that very, very well.
Yeah.
That's a really good sign at 255 that he handles that well. I was going to say he's probably going to need to do more than 265 today to get that extra gain on Ray Williams. But going by that opening lift, I think he's got more than 265 there.
Yep, this would be the event. If he's going to gain it all on Ray, it's going to be in the bench press. Now, speaking of bench press, Ilyas Bugalum, he's broken world records of bench previously. He's going to open with 265.
That's a monster of an opening bench press, isn't it?
One of the best bench pressers we've seen in the 120 plus.
Now bear in mind we're only one lifter away from starting the second attempt, so that's not a whole lot of rest at all.
This is very fast, especially seeing how these men are moving some monster weight. 281 is the open world record. 265 he's opening with. We'll see how it moves, and if 281.5 is a possibility. .281, I believe, was broken earlier this World Championships by Jason Mike, who is a master. Oh, wow.
That moved very, very well. So
that was startlingly
we
fast.
We may see a challenge.
How many kilo would you think he could go up? 10?
I've got to be honest, I think there's more than 10 in there.
For his second attempt?
For his second left, I'd be looking at 10 to 12.5 kilo increase.
If that's the case, 281 for 0.5 for his third is definitely in the tank. We'll have to see how his second attempt moves. And Julian J.K. Johansson from Iceland missed 195, and we're hoping, oh, well, there you have it. The Algerian going to move up 10 kilo for a second attempt.
And if his second attempt moves fast, I think that definitely puts him in a position to consider challenging that world record.
Yeah. Now, Johansson struggled with 195. But sometimes a little motivation goes a long way. Oh, wow.
Well, that was certainly a turnaround from his opening lift, wasn't it?
Made you wonder what happened with his opener.
Be interesting to see where he goes next with that one.
Everybody is on the board in the bench press. You know, the Finnish lifter, he really could have helped out the rest of the fellas if he just would have let them time out.
And you often
it's got to be said.
And you often see lifters will leave their attempts on there and just let it time out just to give the guys that extra minute. You know, it is a good sportsman thing to do.
Jordan.
But, this is sport. These guys have got to adapt.
Yep, no excuses. Jordan McLaughlin, 215, representing Great Britain, 10 kilo jump.
So Kelly Brandt has made a pretty smart move, going 265 on his second.
Nice and controlled to the chest. Very well done. Looks like he's got a little bit of kilos in the tank. 3 highlights. Yeah, I think Kelly Brandt's 265 is well played.
Yeah, look, I think going the extra 10 kilos is a very, very good move. And just has to sort of try and outpace Ray Williams a little bit.
So his nominated bench is 265. I believe you're looking at his previous recent history.
Yeah,
265.
so he's hit 265 twice this year already, Arnold's and Nationals.
So it's a solid go-to.
Yeah, look, solid. 265 is clearly a solid lift for him. And I would imagine that the one of these events he was holding back a little bit, knowing Worlds around the corner. I would hope he's holding back a little bit, knowing Worlds around the corner. So I'd like to think he's got 270 in the tank.
Yeah, he could certainly use the kilos and bridge the gap a little. Mahdi Mafi of Iran, 217.5. Gets the start command.
Yeah, a little bit of work, but not too bad. Yeah, the lift we really want to watch is Ray Williams at 232.5 and see if that extra 10 kilos slows him down a little bit. If that slows him down a little bit, That's Kelly Brandon's chance to see if we can add on a couple more extra than he can and just close that gap just a little bit.
Yeah, in a time when Ray Williams moved forward with just one squat, had Kelly gotten his another squat in, it really would have closed the gap considerably. But they both showed some vulnerability in the squat.
And there's still a long way to go.
There is. Too early yet to dish out medals.
Now, this gentleman here, he has an opportunity to start challenging for the bronze medal.
Yeah, Steve from Belgium, 230.
But he's
Steve
going to
Ragout.
need to be very, very consistent.
Yeah, it's going to be a very tight race for that bronze. Oh, he looks like he's got a little something in the tank. Pacing himself well.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 kilo next time?
I think that was a really good looking opening lift. There's definitely a 5 in there. You know, he may consider pushing it to a 7.5 just to try and get some extra kilos back. But, you know, the risk could pay off. It depends on how big a risk he wants to take. If he takes that risk and it doesn't work out, the gap opens up a bit wider.
That's right. And Ray Williams attempting 232.5. Now, 222.5 moved very fast.
Yeah,
very
it
well.
was really quick.
I'm not expecting 10 more kilo to overly stall Ray. I think he's trying to just maintain his lead, not get too crazy with any of these attempts. He's hit 237.5.
Big ready, 232.5, 512.6.
Moved well. Moved well. Yeah, Ray's kind of in a position. He's in the lead, and everybody's chasing him, so he's got to look back, stay in the pocket, and only do enough to maintain his lead until he sees last deadlift. If he's far enough ahead, he can pull to add more kilos.
Yeah, I think that's the wise move. And, you know, Kelly's sitting back there being consistent, just waiting to see if Ray makes an error or waiting to see if there's a little bit of a weakness there where he can catch up.
Yeah, Ray really doesn't need to overextend himself at the moment. Sometimes you walk into a competition with certain numbers in your head, and if it's not there on that day, you got to adjust. Simras of Estonia, 235, 5 kilo jump. And talk about building kilos towards your total. Hits this, and he's resting at 905.
Yeah, I mean, that's a smart move, not too big a jump.
You know, for so many world championships in a row, it's been Ray, Jezza, and Kelly. Somebody's going to fight their way onto that podium this time, and that's just a little too heavy.
5 kilos just proved a little bit too much. You know, after his 230 moved, I thought the 235 would go quite well. But
I would have suspected as well, sir.
But we have seen, and we do say how fast the bench press rolls off.
Kelly Bratton with 265 for his second attempt.
Kelly Branson, Canada.
Kelly attempting to keep chipping away and adding more kilo. A little bit of an unpredictable squat event. Had both the number 1 and 2 seeds leaving with just one squat apiece.
Yeah, it was a bit close. There was a moment there where we all thought we wouldn't be seeing the number 1 and 2 seed in the final rounds.
And wouldn't that have been a shock?
Wow.
Bronze medal, Kelly Branson. $265 kilos.
Oh, wowzers.
Very nicely done.
Based off of that, do you think he goes up another 10 kilo?
Look, I think the 10's there.
But should he risk?
Yeah, it's a hard call. Yeah, I mean, exactly. It's
Yeah.
a big risk. At the moment, he's holding pace. If he goes up to 10, misses it, the gap opens up.
Yeah.
It's a very, very tough call. I mean, do you now start pushing in your third lift and say, you know what, we're going to take some risks because the gap's pretty big. We want to try and peg some down, and we have to take a risk, or do we just play it safe?
Yeah, I guess, and he's also got to keep one eye on defending the silver.
That's right.
Ilyas Bougalum of Algeria, 275 on the bar for him.
This is a huge lift.
If I'm eyeing this, I would say Britain is fairly comfortable. Okay, he is going to take 10 kilos. I was going to say he's fairly comfortable in silver. The gap is pretty big to bridge, and I think you might as well attack gold if possible. And Ilya,
Yeah, look, given that his silver is reasonably safe, that
nicely
moved very
done.
fast,
Very
275.
fast. Wow, well, that world record could be falling.
Wow. Yeah, look, I think it's probably it's a risky move, but a wise move. His silver's pretty safe. That gap between him and Williams is quite big, so he needs to start hammering
You
it
might
down
as well.
now.
You
And
gotta
he's in a
believe.
safe position. Yeah, look, he's in a safe position. It's unlikely that anyone's going to threaten the silver.
And Julian J.K. Johannes missed his opener, came back, hit it so convincingly, and made you wonder what happened with his opener. Jumps up 205, 10 kilo over his second attempt, which of course was his opening weight, so you got to believe this should be in the tank.
Bars loaded.
He has previously hit 210.
So we are already into third attempts.
This
That's
is fast.
very, very fast turnaround.
It's
You know,
going to be very taxing when we get to the deadlifts and big
Yeah,
weight.
exactly. I was just going to say, it's not as bad in the bench press. They have none of them have really had to grind, but when we hit that deadlift and they all start jostling for positions, trying to start pegging each other down, that's when you're going to see it take its toll. And that's when you're going to see the bigger guys really start to struggle.
Johansson gets his 205 and 220 being loaded on the board for Jordan McLaughlin of Great Britain.
So we might even see in our third round of deadlifts, we might not see the big numbers that we would expect from
Yeah.
Ray Williams, Rast, and even Branton, given the turnaround time.
Yeah, or we will see attempts and possible failures opening up doors. It's still anybody's game. 220 from McLaughlin. Slow controlled descent. Looks good. And the bench press event is miles more consistent than the squat.
Very, very much so. Yeah, look, I think at the end of the day, to be the world champion in this event today, it's going to be the guy that's strong, fast, but also managed to really look after his endurance.
Yep, I
And that's
think you
going
might
to
be
be the
right.
key.
You're going to have to pace yourself.
Yeah, so let's see. Can Ray Williams handle this pace? We'll find out.
225 being loaded on the bar for Mahdi Mafi of Iran.
Bars loaded.
Averted disaster in the squat event, taking a fourth squat.
Didn't he just avert disaster?
and
Wow.
Not only averted disaster, but left with a bronze.
Yeah, look, his last squat was actually quite phenomenal. I mean, if you look at the squat that got overturned because the spotter grabbed a little bit too early, and no offense, no discrediting the spotters, they've been absolutely amazing today. It wasn't a great squat.
No.
The spotters reacted to a movement which is normal, but he really looked like he was struggling. He came out with the fourth one
And smashed,
and smashed
it. Yeah.
it like he was warming up.
And it appeared as though he's really emptying the tank with those squats. And I was not thinking he would have it in him for the fourth, but summoned the power when needed.
And now hitting the bench press doesn't really look like it's affected him too much.
No, just went 3 for 3, leaving a 225. And he's back on track, possibly for a medal in the bronze if some things shake up in the deadlift. Now, Simras of Estonia, 235 on the bar for him. He had missed the second attempt.
Yeah, it's interesting with the numbers and the short turnaround. We just looked at the Iranian, and he's at 885, and third position is only 20 kilos ahead. And we talk about this short turnaround. If Ras misses this bench press, all of a sudden
Yeah,
he's only 15 kilos away.
yeah.
So he's in sixth position. Could find himself working his way up with consistency up to fifth, fourth, or even third.
I'm going to have to agree with you, sir. So 235, ever so important. Right the ship. Get back on track. Far too close. And, whoa, it looks like he may have.
Yeah, look.
3 white lights. And again, it makes you wonder what happened the second time
As he
around.
turned that around, the second press was terrible. Looked like he wasn't strong enough. It just didn't have the power.
Yeah.
Comes out, hits it again, and absolutely no problems at all.
All types of surprises in the 120 plus event thus far.
Steve calling out. The bar is loaded for Steve calling out.
So we've got 235 on the bar.
35 kilos.
$5-kilo jump for Steve Ringout of Belgium. Looking to go 3 for 3. He went 3 for 3 in the squats. 6 for 6 will really help build that total.
Yeah, it'd certainly be nice for him to go 9 from 9 at a world championships like this.
And Steve has a very competent deadlift. Oh, just a little too much.
Bit heavy, you think?
Yeah, considering 230 moves so well, 5 kilo
Yeah,
was realistic, but again, it's a quick turnaround.
Ray Williams, 534
Ray Williams.
powerlifting for 5 years.
Ray Williams, 242.5 kilo being loaded on the bar for him.
these bench presses are just getting monumental.
Bars loaded.
This will be putting him in a bronze medal position.
And just to put this into perspective, a lot of guys can't even imagine doing these sorts of weights equipped.
Yeah, yeah.
And they are lifting these weights raw.
Now, 232.5 moved pretty smoothly for Ray. I'm expecting him to hit this, go 3 for 3, and start building some momentum heading into the deadlifts.
Yeah, his 232.5 moved really fast. And he seems to be on track, which is good. His technique's fine. He's not getting picked up on too many technicalities. Yeah, 242.5 was good.
I think it was
Third
well
lift.
played by the Americans to not overextend and build some positive momentum here.
Yeah, the 242.5 slowed him down a little, but not too much. And he's still got some energy left to hit the deadlift. So this will be the biggest lift Kelly Branton has done, I think.
I think this is a personal best, and a personal best in bench by a world champion in the bench press.
Wow,
275.
that is monstrous. I'm pretty sure the home crowd would love to see him get this.
It would put him for a silver medal. He's got the silver already, actually, so, but it's those kilos that he needs towards his total. The bench events is his, and this is where he's going to do most of his good work catching up.
Oh, just a little heavy. I thought for a second he was going to push through that.
Yeah, just that lockout. Great catch by the spotters, as usual.
Look, I still think from the Canadian team there was a risk that had to be taken.
It was, absolutely. Yeah, no sense playing it safe. Your silver medal's pretty much locked up, and if you want to move ahead, like you had said earlier, you got to take some risks, calculated risks.
Yeah, look, if he was 5 kilos behind Ray Williams, I would have said, yeah, it was probably a silly thing to do, big
Yeah.
risk. But at 40, 50 odd kilos behind,
You gotta
if he
cover
has
ground.
any chance,
Yeah.
you've got to cover some ground
Yeah.
early on. So a smart move.
Ilyas Bougalim of Algeria, 281.5 kilo loaded on the bar, and this is a world record attempt. Ilyas
World record.
looking to break his own world record.
And his previous world record before this? was
280.
280. Wow.
Well, actually, it's 281.
So he's chipping it with 0.5.
Yep. And it's a chip he can use if it ends up being a scrap for the bronze.
Yep, so for a world record, you can use what we call a chip, which is increments of 0.25 kilograms on each end. And those plates are kept on the jurors' table and checked by the chief referee before they're placed on the bar. This is an absolutely huge bench press, 281.5.
Oh, wow.
Wow, I think he could have even gone 285.
You know what? That was very fast, very strong.
was.
3 white lights.
That was absolutely phenomenal for a world record bench
Look
press.
at the celebration.
For a world record bench press, that was phenomenal. And you know what? They've had an up and down sort of week, the Algerian team.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see them come out and get a world record there. But wow, that was so fast. Well, what do you think? We're
I
into
think
the deadlifts.
a little more consistency here going into the bench press event. It was a huge shakeup, high emotions, high drama in the squat event, and we really need to see a little bit of consistency here from some of the bigger guns. Kelly Brayton, Ray Williams doing their job as expected. Boogalum coming out with the world record attempt,
Absolutely.
and we were all hoping he'd go through with it. Coming away with the gold medal, Breton taking the silver. I think coming into the deadlifts, if Ray hits his opening dead, as long as he can keep his foot on the gas and keep the pressure,
Yeah, I
and
think he's
has
in the
Ray
right position.
has Kelly chasing him, he should be able to lock up the win. But as we've seen in the squat event, nothing's for certain.
Yeah, everything's calmed down a lot now. I mean, the in the squat session, everything was so much, there's so much
Chaos.
hype and activity, there's so much chaos. And this event is so hyped up. I mean, it's the 120 plus, it's the heavyweights.
Yeah.
We talk about it for weeks on end. The community, the powerlifting community talks about it for months. So these guys are absolutely hyped when they hit the platform
Yeah.
for those first lifts. What we saw today was there was just so much hype. They've peaked so much that they've just gotten a little bit out of control.
Yeah.
A little bit of chaos, but they've got that out. They've calmed down now. We're seeing nice, clean benches, and hopefully we can see the same thing in the deadlift.
You don't want to go anywhere. 20 minutes. We'll be right back for the dramatic conclusion of the 120 pluses. And welcome back to the IPF World Championships here in Calgary, Canada for the 120 plus deadlift event, six-pack Lapidat. My man Gary Williams. Gary, it started off like a firefight.
It sure did.
Lot of misses for the first time in a long time. Looked like just as many red as there was green on the scorecard.
Yeah, it was a bit of a Christmas tree out there, wasn't it?
It was well
but
said.
yeah, it settled down in the bench press, and now we've got the deadlift. Yeah, look, we might see some guys really trying to pull for positions in the deadlift. And that's certainly going to hype things up a little bit. Of course, what a lot of people probably don't realise at home is they're also competing for best overall lifter as well. And there's a little bit of a battle there.
Ironically, the biggest man in the competition versus the smallest champion,
Yeah, so
Fedoshenko.
is in the running for overall best lifter.
And that magical number Ray needs to pull?
400. So he has to pull
400 even.
400 deadlift to get best lifter.
So he's not only battling the gentleman out here, and he's opening with 355, by the way, but he wants to pace himself to take that 400.
Yeah, and that's important for these guys. Best overall lifter is a really important honor for
Very
these guys.
prestigious. Very few times does Ray ever not get best lifter, but when he doesn't, it shifts over to Fedoshenko.
Boy, it would certainly sting to be beaten by Fedoshenko with the size difference, wouldn't it?
Ilyas Bugalim of Algeria, 270. And he does it well. And he needed that to assure his bench. And that's actually, he bench pressed more than his opening dead right there. So probably never in doubt.
Yeah, look, I think it's really important. These guys are probably going to come out and if you look at the numbers, they aren't big opening numbers for deadlift. And I think they learn a bit from their squats, and they're just trying to get these ones on the board to make sure they can come through to the end.
I think you're absolutely right. Speaking of Kelly Brand, opening with 295, that's 650. He's well into the 700s. He's going to take this for a ride and have plenty of room left in the tank, I'm sure.
Here comes the Canadian favourite.
Also, move forward from the squats. Just one squat. But he sunk it. Like
Canada's favourite son,
Yep.
Kelly Brandon.
Very popular lifter. World champion in the bench press 2017.
Yeah, certainly no problems with that.
Yeah, that's how his deadlifts always look. It's kind of hard. Kelly's a big man. Getting down to that bar, it's not his favorite event, he'll tell you. But the difference between his opener and his last, they all kind of look like that. And Madi Mafi, 300 kilos for the Iranian, had a little more excitement in the squat event than I'm sure he was planning on.
Ooh,
4 attempts.
You know what? And it doesn't seem to have affected him physically either. Usually when they have to take that 4 squat, it can really take its toll. But it doesn't seem to have impacted him in that way.
Well, take a look how 300 kilos moves. Oh, I think you're right, sir.
Well, he's still got some energy in the tank. The turnaround time is really going to tell the tale here.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you. He's hit 320 before. Whether or not he's going to hit 320 today, we'll see how quickly we have to turn around. And the fella's loading 310 for Jordan McLaughlin of Great Britain.
I tell you, it is a tough job out there being a spotter and loader with the heavy weights. There is so much weight they're moving around.
Yeah. Yeah, from catching missed squats to bending over and loading up the deadlift bar. A lot of work to be done. And Jordan. Pretty smooth. Pretty smooth. 3 white lights, and he breathes a sigh of relief. His total is assured.
Yeah, he breathed a bit of sigh of relief there. He put the bar down a bit on the quick side. I think he might have been a little bit worried. He might have been red lighted for not controlling the bar. You see him wipe his forehead as he walked off and look at the referees.
Literally wiped his forehead with a sigh. 320.
I think you might see him drop that a little bit slower next time.
Steve Ringout of Belgium, 320 loaded on the bar. Steve, the only lifter to go 3 for 3 in the squats, 2 for 3 in the bench after that.
Yeah, look, he's been fantastic, and it's put him in a really nice position.
Very consistent throughout the day, and that's how you build your total. Oh, And it looks like
Well, I wasn't expecting that. It looked like it came up very easy. It looks like he just lost his grip, did he?
Yeah, he's grabbing his thumb. No, something tore, and he's grabbing his thumb. Hopefully it's
Might
not
have just
injured.
torn a callus or something like that. And
Yeah. If you're doing was he hook grip? I couldn't see his other hand by my angle, but one thumb goes, that'd be all she wrote on your
so,
grip.
yeah, a lot of weight to be dropping. I think I jumped a little then.
And Julian J.K. Johansson of Iceland, 330 kilos for his opener. Capable of 380, so this should be well within his means.
Yeah, that's a good opening lift. If you've got a capability of 380, 330 is a really good opening lift on the deadlift at this scale.
Yeah, it
You
won't
can-
overly tax you. And I think they're taking into account this quick turnaround, like you were saying. You have that discussion. Look, if we got to turn around for a decent second attempt, let's take an easy opener.
Yeah, and at this point, these guys are sort of hoping the spotters and loaders will slow down a little.
Exactly.
You might see a few of the athletes actually ask for the bar to be cleaned as well, just to suck up a little bit more time.
Veteran trick, sir. Also hook grip. Not sure what he said in Icelandic, but it sounded scary.
I think it was polite, yeah. Yeah, you say thank you very much.
Thank you. Wowzers. It's a
Wow,
frightening man.
that is a lot of weight to just move that easily.
Simrast of Estonia, 335 loaded on the bar for him. And to think the amount of weight these fellas are now shifting with relative ease.
$335 kilograms, an opening lift.
Look how smooth Rast handles that weight.
Lift is good.
And the battle for bronze overall very tight, only 1 kilo separating Boogalum and Rast.
Wow. We said there'd be a bit of a battle there.
That chip that the Algerian earned on the bench is turning out to be very strategic.
And it's a shame for Ringert from Belgium. He was in a bit of a position to start the challenge for that bronze as well. Just a little bit behind. Missing that opening lift has sort of cost him that doorway.
Hopefully he hasn't torn a thumb. Jari Serio of Finland, 340. Unfortunately, he will not. Whoa.
Oh, just can't hold it at the top.
He looks a little perplexed what happened. He's not going to register a total, so this is all for pride. But hopefully he gets a decent dead in there. Not sure. It seemed somewhat compromised at the top.
Yeah.
And here's the man himself, Ray Williams.
The man of the hour.
Now,
Optimus Prime himself.
once he starts pulling, he's going to start pulling ahead from the pack. He has a monster dead. So if you're trying to chase him, by the time you get to the deadlift event, the battle may have already been lost. However, he's got a bigger prize on his hands. For a champion like Ray Williams, he wants to be the champion of champions. He needs a 400-kilo deadlift. 350 will be a decent indication,
It's
sir?
a good start.
It's a good start.
And you see Ray just make sure the bar was clean there. Gets himself a little bit extra breathing space.
It's going to take it one lift at a time.
Just talking to the bar there, scaring it into submission.
Oh. And Ray Williams is a specimen to behold. Oh,
Well, 255 was no problem, and he puts it down ever so gently to say
And the
thank
pep-
you very much.
the pep is back in Ray Williams' step.
Certainly is.
Watching the
I
strongest
think
man in
he
the world.
certainly has a shot at that 400.
Yep.
We'll have a look at his next one.
The strongest man in the world applying his trade. 280 being loaded on the bar for Ilyas Bougalim of Algeria.
So he's gone 3.775 for his second lift. It'll be interesting to see how that moves, where the 400 is there.
You know, it's one of those situations for him. He missed the world record squat. He's probably not going to end up where he had wanted to. He's going to end up the world champion, and he won't risk it. Would winning champion of champions soothe missing that world record
Yeah, look,
squat?
I think it'd certainly help.
I think it's a start. 10 kilo on the bar.
So we are already around for our second attempts.
And this is still underneath his bench press, by the way. 3 white lights.
He's good. Good luck, Kelly Brandon. 302.5 kilos.
Let he who hath understood the record number, for it is an evil number.
Kelly Britton, 302.5, loaded on the bar. And Gino having a little fun here because it's 666 loaded on the bar.
The bar is loaded for Kelly Brandon. Give him a round of applause. 666. The number of the Brandon. Kelly will raise his bar from the depths of hell into the heavens above. Come on, Kelly.
Gino's pouring it on thick for the crowd at home. I'm expecting this to move quite well.
Yeah, look, I think he's made a really smart decision here. He's not going to be able to challenge Ray Williams for the total. So just putting on 7.5 kilos.
Yeah, it's a bit of a... Ray was... If ever he was vulnerable, it's when he's walking with only one squat. But the problem is, so did Kelly. And if Kelly had his best squat day, which was around 970, we might have had a battle on our hands.
Yeah, look, absolutely. And, you know, I think next Worlds, you know, years time down the track, I think Ray Williams might need to be watching that gold medal very closely because I think Kelly Brandon is moving himself into a position over the last year or so to really challenge that world championship.
320. Let's hope Steve doesn't have any issues in terms of grip, no injuries. And he should be on the board.
Yeah, that seemed to handle a lot better there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he just lost his grip.
Yep. And he was looking at his hand as though he had something wrong there, but battling through the pain and registering a total. Madi Mafi from Iran, 320 loaded on the bar for him. 20 kilo jump, which is sizable. And the Iranians may be trying to catch up for a bronze medal. They're certainly trying to cover some ground in the deadlift event.
Yeah, look, they're not that far away to be looking at trying to catch up, but they are going to have to pull some big jumps.
Yeah. Oh, wow, and he's good for
Yeah,
it,
look,
too.
that didn't move too badly at all.
No, for a 20 kilo jump, you got to think
Yeah, look,
he's within pulling distance.
yeah, I'd like to think he's going to put in a number now that's going to put him in a position where he can pull for the bronze medal.
He might as well try. He just covered enough previously to that last pull. I would have been suspect, but now I'm a bit of a believer. And it's going to be a battle for the bronze, and he's included. Jordan McLaughlin of Great Britain, 320 loaded on the bar for him. The Algerian actually is only a kilo off, a third. Yeah, it's a bit of a traffic jam for that bronze medal right now. McLaughlin. Shoulders back.
Yeah, looks like a good lift.
Well done.
It's a good lift. And
See
he
him give the
puts that bar
spotters
down very, very fast. You'd think he would slow it down just a little.
It's work. Gives the shaky hand cue. I'm not sure what that. And then the two shooters. Simras Estonia, 347.5 loaded on the bar for him. Sim is trying to separate himself from the pack and push himself onto the podium. I got a feeling this is going to come down to the last deads until the podium's decided.
Yeah, look, you're going to see some numbers going and some change around, and a few guys are going to try and pull for those podium positions, particularly bronze. You know, I mean, some of these guys are close enough to put in a big pull
Yeah.
to try and overtake.
Yeah, Sim really needs to hit this to push them into a position where they're uncomfortable. and they are asking him to clean the bar, get a little moment's respite.
347.5 kilos. He hails from Estonia.
And if you look at the breathing and facial expressions on some of these gentlemen, you can see that quick turnaround is just starting to take its toll.
Yeah, I think you're right, sir. But he's good for the challenge. Gets the down command. Now, Sim needed that.
Yeah, that was a very important lift.
Speaking of heavy breathing, he needs a little bit of breathing room from the rest of the pack. That'll afford him some, but he's definitely still in pulling danger, especially with some of the deadlifters we have in this pack. Now, the Finn, risking nothing because he does not have a total, jumped up 7.5 kilo despite missing 340.
Yeah, look.
What do you think?
I think look, interesting. He can't get a total, so I guess this is an opportunity for him. Maybe he's not going to challenge for the medal in the deadlift. This is an opportunity for him, I suppose, now to say, well, I can challenge for a medal with an extra big pull, and get used to feeling that sort of weight and use it as part of a training regime as well.
I feel like I would have liked to have seen 340 just to get one in there.
Yeah, look, I think he's taking a big call putting the 347.5, but
I hate to leave. Well, if he gets this one, all is wow. And he does.
There you go. And look, at the end of the day, he has nothing to lose.
He really does. He's playing with house money at this point. And if he can pull himself into a deadlift medal, and clearly deciding not to take all 3 bench attempts, he was holding some energy for that.
Yeah, I mean, this was his plan to try and come out and maybe challenge for something on the deadlifts. At least go home with something. And he's going to have a tough task trying to challenge for the deadlift. But he is fresh.
Yeah, he's far fresher than everybody else. Julian J.K. Johansson of Iceland. 365 kilo on the bar. We're tipping into the 800s now.
Julian pulls every year at the Arnold Schwarzenegger Festival. He's got the double overhand hook grip. This guy can. Wow.
365.
And there is a lot in the tank for Julian.
Yeah, it's still looking fast, isn't it?
Now Ray Williams pulling ahead of the pack as expected, but still trailing his arch rival, Fedoshenko.
That's it. And this lift here is going to give us an indication if he has 400 in the tank.
Now, based off of his profile, 392.5 is his biggest deadlift. 400 is a rather big ask.
Yeah, I think he has pulled 400 before.
I think, well,
but I'm not sure.
The deadlift world record's 392.5, and that's the biggest deadlift in IPF history. If he could pull 400 flat, it'd be a monumental achievement. 377.5 for Ray. I guess we'll see a glimpse of what he's got in the tank.
Well, he hasn't pulled 400 at an international or national competition, so.
Counting himself down. Whoa. And he looks all
Wow,
types of strong, doesn't he?
Very fast, isn't it?
And lays it down. If Ray
Places
Williams
it down gently.
was deadlifting in the floor above you, you wouldn't
even
know
know it. But the guys here from Viva Media will be very, very happy to put it down so gently to stop the camera shake. Thank you, Ray.
That's right.
You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Okay, so 398.5 is being loaded on the bar for Ray. It's a world record deadlift, but for now, anyways, conceding to Fedoshenko.
Yeah, look,
you got this one.
I think it's probably not a bad move. I mean, 398.5 is in the tank.
You believe so?
Yeah, I'm fairly confident he can pull 398.5 for a world record. 400? Is it a little too much?
It's 1.5 kilo.
Yeah,
It's
we know how fast we
it's
break
so
the
tempting.
bank.
It's so
and
tempting.
it is so tempting. So, yeah, we might see him change yet.
We might. Does he even know a kilo and a half more and he's best lifter?
Yeah,
Kilo
look,
and a half
and
less.
there's a good chance that they haven't done the maths for
they're
best
not,
lifter, and that's not what
they
they're
might not
thinking
be
about.
Exactly. You're entirely right.
And as coaches and athletes, you certainly don't think about best lifter calculating that out as you go in.
It's usually what happens
Yeah,
after the fact.
we do, and all the guys around us here do.
Oh, for sure.
Because that's our job.
Working every story angle possible to give it to you. And Ilyas Bugalim of Algeria, 300 kilo even. If he misses this, he finishes with a bench heavier than his deadlift, and that
And he
happened.
will finish with the bench heavier than his
Very
deadlift. That
rarely.
is a very unusual thing.
Do you see a man bench more than he deadlifts? And here we are.
I don't
But
think
when you're-
I've ever known anyone that could bench more than they
But
deadlift.
with all due respect, the man bench presses 281 kilo.
That is a good point.
That is a good point. Yeah.
281.5 kilograms.
0.5. Kelly Brenton, 310 kilo being loaded on the bar, looking to go 3 for 3 in the deadlifts. Finish off 985, a little below his personal best. He's tipped over into the 1,000 kilo range, but leaving the squats with only his opening weight wasn't as planned.
Yeah,
He's-
look, he didn't plan that for happen, but he's gonna leave here with a silver medal,
yeah,
and
which is the best.
and
He's
a
only ever
world
gotten
and a world
bronze.
championship is a fantastic thing.
And the silver medal for Kelly is the highest ranking he's gotten in 3 lift world championships. So he's moving up a ranking.
Come on, Kelly, let's blow this up.
He wants to finish in style. Big 3 for 3. Oh, nicely done. That actually might have looked like his best pull.
That was a very, very clean lift. That was probably his cleanest lift, I think.
3 white lights. You know, if pressed, he might have had to risk some more, but he walks away as a world champion silver medalist, previously snagging a couple of bronze.
Canada's own Kelly.
And Steven Ringout of Belgium, 330 kilo being loaded on the bar for him.
Ring out.
Well, we said before, we have lots of guys around us to do all the maths and
Yep.
tell us who has to pull what to get overall lifter.
Yep.
It turns out that if Ray Williams pulls 398.5, he will get best lifter by
Yeah.
0.01.
Hey, whoa! And you know when Fedoshenko hears the news, he'll be like, I had 0.01 left in the tank.
Yeah, I had it there. I could have got it. I could have been a contender.
Well, there you go. Maybe it does mean something to Ray Williams after all. I think he's got it, by the way. Steve showing some heart. Oh, he wants it. Are his knees locked? I'm not so sure.
Not sure he was able to lock that. He doesn't look convinced either, and he didn't. Yeah, look, he didn't look confident when he put the bar down, did he?
I think he's got a banged up hand, so this lockout's really going to put some pain on him.
Oh, yeah.
He needed that down command real quick. And Jordan McLaughlin, 330 loaded on the bar as well.
So this will be Ray's biggest lift when he gets to it.
It's the biggest pull he's ever pulled, and he needs it if he wants to take the highly coveted Champion of Champions awards.
And this is the third lift, so the bar gets clean between each one. And
You know, it's-
side referee just looking on very closely there.
It's such an intriguing rivalry, Fedoshenko-Ray Williams, isn't it? I want to see pictures of their stare down. Put it on a poster. But they are as close a rivals as they have, and they push each other. Ray has the benefit of loading up when he needs because he lifts last, obviously. Fedoshenko lifts first. Polar opposites. One opens the show first, the other one closes.
Yeah, look, it certainly does give him the advantage being able to put it in the last category, doesn't it?
330 for Jordan McLaughlin of Great Britain. Looking to go 3 for 3, 10 kilo jump from the second attempt.
Oh, he's giving it everything he's got.
Yeah, he is.
They just can't lock it.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it just didn't quite lock.
Not sure what he's asking for. It's probably alcohol. Yeah, he just was slightly shy of locking it out. Showed a lot of heart. You know what? Well-placed attempt by the Brits regardless. It was definitely reasonable and realistic. He came
absolutely.
so close. And Mahdi Mafi of Iran, 347. This will move him into bronze medal position overall from bombing out and getting a fourth attempt.
Yeah, I mean, this this could be quite the story. I mean,
Quite the
if this-
turnaround story.
If this moves into bronze and he managed to hold that position, this is quite the story.
Absolutely.
Was almost bombed out completely of the competition, no total. Gets the 4th attempt, absolutely smokes it, and gets the bronze medal.
That's right. And now
he's pulling to move himself in an overall bronze position.
it's quite the comeback story, and the comeback kid looking to follow his fortunes.
You know, we said earlier that these guys in some of these other positions were close enough to challenge. It is a big, big jump.
Whoa! Just shy of
And
lockout.
Just gets stuck there and
it was worth
keep it going. It was definitely
worth
a pull.
a shot. He came close. Leaves with a bronze and squat.
Look, that was certainly worth a pull. I mean, that was very, very close to actually coming off with a fairy tale ending.
If you're ever that close to a bronze, by all means, you load it up.
Yeah, he could have quite easily got 340 probably, but then he's going to go home and think, why
Coulda,
not try
woulda,
another
shoulda.
7.5
Exactly.
and give it a crack?
You got to wait a year to find out now. Sim Rast of Estonia, we've only had one successful pull in all these final dead attempts, and that was Kelly Brenton. And we're used to seeing high percentage fails because everyone's pulling for position and extending themselves. But who is going to walk away with this bronze here? He's in third place, pulling to stay in third. Is anybody close enough to challenge if he hits this? I think this pretty much dashes anybody's hopes.
Yeah, look, I think the next
Anybody
one
being
close to is
Icelandic,
Johansson, and he's going to have to add on an extra 20-odd kilos.
So for all intents and purposes, the bronze locked up by the Estonian.
Yeah, I think if Johansson would like to pull for the gold medal, for the bronze medal, he'd have to put 400 on the bar.
That's a big ask.
Might be pushing it just a little.
And nope. I think he beat the count. I think he beat the down command.
He may have done. Yes, he did.
I can't think the Icelandic lifter will. He might load it, but it'll take a titanic effort to actually snag that bronze. Is he changing it? We have a change coming. Tell me it's the Icelandic lifter. This would be a Hail Mary pass to get on that podium.
Maybe Finland, actually.
It might be the Finn. He's currently resting in third for deadlift. I don't think that's going to change. 360 for Jari Sario of Finland.
Yeah, look, I think, in all honesty, that's a very, very big ask, 360. But it's amazing what can happen on this platform, and this would be pulling for the silver medal.
Actually, so Ray's got gold. McLaughlin's already pulled 360, or Johansson's already pulled 365. So it'd definitely be bronze. I just heard
medal.
Gino say that as well. I think he's mistaken.
It'll be a bronze medal. This gentleman has certainly come out and caught us many times, and that's a little too much.
Still walks away with the bronze medal.
Certainly worth a try.
Yeah. So yeah, Johansson from Iceland not going to threaten the overall, but he's loading enough right now. If he hits this and Ray misses his last pull, he'll walk away with gold medal in the deadlifts.
Yeah, look, it's not a bad idea.
Not bad
He's
at all.
solid in second. No one's going to take that away from him.
Yeah.
It pulls up 380. It's amazing how much more you can pull when you're pulling for a possible gold medal.
A gold medal at the IPF World Championships. You'd be crazy not to take a kick at it.
It'd be nice to take the gold medal away from Ray Williams in the
Big
deadlift.
Ray of all people. Exactly. That's
Sure,
a hell of a
that's
story to
what-
tell your friends.
I'm sure that's what he's thinking.
Can Julian J.K. Johansson of Iceland snatch Ray Williams gold?
He is a big machine. If anyone's got a shot at it, it's him.
Talk about bragging rights at the banquet tonight. Whoa, and he might do it. Whoa,
Going
he's
up.
fighting. He's fighting.
Oh, and he just couldn't hang
Oh,
on
he's
to it.
close. He was close.
Very, very close to
He
taking
can be
that
happy.
380.
He's disappointed, but he can be happy with his effort. That was a big pull.
Wow. That was one of the biggest fights I've seen.
I cannot believe he never stopped
Can't
pulling
believe
to
that
the end.
kept moving.
almost taking Ray Williams gold. Nobody takes Ray Williams gold. Inches.
398.5. Ray's looking for a world record.
And he's shattering the world record, by the way. Ray Williams is firing shots at Fedoshenko. Not this year, young man.
So this is the last lift of the day and the last lift of this competition.
You gotta believe somewhere in this arena, Fedoshenko's watching or he's watching the stream.
And we have saved the best for last.
The biggest lift in IPF history, 398.5. Never has a man moved this kind of weight.
Those
In the
Alico
deadlift.
plates just look wonderful.
The biggest dead in history. Can it go down right now?
Look, his 377.5 moves super fast. So
If anyone can do it, Ray can.
I think he has it. I think he has this in the tank.
The place is on its feet. Ray versus Fedoshenko, US versus Russia, 398.5 on the bar. For the Champion of Champions Award. Whoa! Fast!
That was fast.
I think he might have done it!
I think he has 398.5. I think that'll be
3 white lights! Ray Williams, the champion of champions at the 2018 World Championships. How can you not have a better show closer than that?
And a new world record to finish the end of our competition.
And the place is on its feet.
Certainly is. Ray Williams came in with favourite, had a rocky start, but managed to turn things around and get solid again on the bench and the deadlifts. And he comes out and finishes with a world record finish, as well as champion of champions as well.
You know what? The squat session, high drama, very chaotic is the best way I would describe it. Wasn't sure what we were going to have there. Like Ray went for a world record.
It was hard to tell what was going to happen at the other end, but they calmed down after the squat and everything got back on track. And you really couldn't ask for a better end of the show. A world record and pulling for champion of champions.
Yeah, it's the perfect show closer, the biggest deadlift in IPF history, Ray Williams. He truly is the champion of champions. That's what it is when you have a shaky start. You got to leave it behind you. You rebound, and you close the show.
That's it. When the going gets tough, he digs deep and he pulls out the best. And for a lot of guys, missing that squat, that last squat, would have rattled them a bit. Ray came out on that bench press, cool, calm and collective.
He did, didn't he?
Did his job, came out to the deadlift, did his job again, had a plan, 355, 377.5, world record, and champion.
Just enough. He knows somewhere Fedoshenko shaking his head. I'll see you in Sweden, Ray.
Yeah, and he's followed that through, hasn't he? Well, I got to say, it has been an absolutely incredible 2 weeks of lifting. Yeah, I mean, we have seen world record after world record after world record after world record. We did the 84 and 84 plus women yesterday, and there were so many world records. I think I ran out of fingers to count them. I can't remember how many world records there were. We have seen some incredible upsets as well.
Yep.
We've seen Canada get a world championship
for the first time ever.
First
on
time
Canadian
ever.
soil.
What an amazing event that is.
For anybody watching this, please share this with your friends. Tell your friends to see these events. They're up on our YouTube. This should be on TV for everyone to show. Yeah. It's a great product, high entertainment, and I think the general public would like it.
It's one of the greatest sports in the world. And it's an everyman sport.
Every woman's sport too.
Every man, every woman.
Of all ages.
Everyone can have a go at powerlifting. It doesn't, it's just one of those sports that everyone can get into and everyone can get involved in. It is a real family sport. Well, I'll tell you what, until next time.
Quick shout out and thank you to Alico, SBD, and Uplift. Couldn't have been possible without you. And yeah, exactly. Until next time, we do have the medal ceremonies. And then after that, see you in Sweden.
escorted onto the platform. All right, are we ready, ladies and gentlemen? Handing out the awards, the medals for this session, ladies and gentlemen, two distinguished individuals, and we can give them each a round of applause. First, we have the president of the Asian Powerlifting Federation, Farshid Sultani. And ladies and gentlemen, we have the Secretary General of the International Powerlifting Federation. A big round of applause for Dr. Robert Keller. Let's move on to our first category. 120 plus kilo weight class in the open category. In the squat, the bronze medal winner hailing from Iran. A big round of applause for Mandi Mafi Golawi. Silver medal winner hailing from Canada, our host country. A big round of applause for Mr. Kelly Burton. And ladies and gentlemen, the gold medal winner hailing from the United States of America. A big round of applause for Big Ray Williams! All right, let's get some photos. Kelly, get that flag out. Hold on. Beautiful. Give them another round of applause. These big boys, they turn the lights off. These big boys are sweating up there. Let's move on to the bench press now. In the bronze medal position, the two big boys have to come back again. Hailing from the United States of America, Ray Williams. And the silver medal winner, hailing from Canada, Mr. Kelly Branton. And ladies and gentlemen, with a new world record, a big round of applause. He hails from Algeria, Ilyas Bouhal. Let's get some photos. Hold on. Let's get the flags right. Let's get some photos. Thank you, gentlemen. You may step back now. Moving on to the deadlift. Now, we have the bronze medal winner. Ladies and gentlemen, he hails from Finland. A big round of applause for Jari Sario Huva Swami. And ladies and gentlemen, the silver medal winner, hailing from Iceland, Julian J.K. Johansson! And ladies and gentlemen, with a new world record in the deadlift, with a total of 398.5, he hails from the United States of America. Big round of applause for Big Ray Williams. photos. Oh, thanks for the smile, right? Thank you, gentlemen. You may step back now. Right, you're going to have to get up there one more time, big man. All right, here we go. In the 120 plus kilo weight class open category, the overall winners, the bronze medal winner, he hails from Estonia. A big round of applause for Sian Ross. And the silver medal winner hailing from our host country, Canada, a rounding ovation for Kelly Branton. And ladies and gentlemen, the gold medal winner and best overall lifter of the competition by formula by .01. Ladies and gentlemen from the United States of America, a big ovation now for Ray Williams! Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of the United States of America. Big round of applause for all of our winners. All right, gentlemen, back in line, please. Stop. You are all going to turn that way, and you're going to go around, and the audience will give our lifters a continuous ovation as the athletes get escorted off the platform.